I've got over 300 thrifted finds packed into a tiny spare room, an office, and even a closet. And yes, it all actually works. This isn't Pinterest pretty storage, but it's real reseller storage, and it gets the job done. I've learned to get creative with small spaces because when you have a tiny house, you make every corner count. Let me show you how I keep it all organized without fancy warehouse, just a system that works for me. Hi Sequels friends, today I'm going to share with you how I store all of my inventory in a pretty small space. Now I'm a part-time reseller, so we're not talking about a huge warehouse, a walk-in basement, or a garage. We are just talking about a spare room, an office, and a tiny little closet. But guess what? It works. So this smaller clothing rack here is typically for things that are coming in. So if they don't need to be laundered, I hang them on this rack. This is housing some things that need some stain treatments, and I have my sewing machine out there because I just recently did that repair. And then I have a few dresses that a family member gave me, but I don't have the jackets for them. So I'm just holding them here. This is all stuff that needs something done to it before it's going to be photographed. If I just brought something in, then it would go into the laundry. After it goes into the laundry, it comes into here. Videosa. Videosa. This is my tote system. I have 10 total totes. There is one under the rack here. Each of my totes are labeled 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and behind me on the rack is 10. That's how I keep track of everything. And I do use a poly bag system. So the item is bagged and then accounted for on my spreadsheet. Most everything is poly bagged besides this bin at the bottom because there's a lot of bundles of lounge pants, so they're not going to fit into a poly bag, as well as this tote full of coats for the same reason. They're super big and they're not going to fit into a poly bag. I'm likely going to have to put some bags together when those do sell, and I'm going to need to ship them out. Is it the perfect system? No. Is it the system I have now and works for me? Absolutely. One other thing to mention is this laundry basket. This I keep out now for anything that needs to go to be donated. So I cleared out some stuff from Brent's closet in here and it was not saleable. So I keep this here. This all needs to be donated. I will put it on my donation spreadsheet when it's time to leave, and I do that once it's full. This rack in here is for anything that needs to be photographed. So once this rack in here is empty, I usually go to the rack out there and pull out things that need to be photographed. I like this double layer rack because I can put all my stuff that needs to be just men's or shorts and pants on one rod. And then everything that needs to be put on Miss Mannequin, I can use the other rod for. I also love this double rack because when I'm done photographing it, I bring it over here to measure. And once the measuring is done, I could say everything up on this top rack still needs to be photographed, but everything down here is all been measured and is ready to put away. And that's exactly the case with this item. Just a pair of pillow covers that I had thrifted a few years ago, and I found some new ones, so I went ahead and put those up to sell. And these just need to be poly bagged and marked on the spreadsheet to be put into inventory. Keep my storage bin here for anything that's going out. So there's a package in there already because something sold today and it needs to be out in the mail tomorrow. If I haven't mentioned it up to this point, I do live in a very small, teeny tiny house. I would consider it a cottage style house, a 1950s house. It does have original closets. Those closets are small, but I am trying to use it to my advantage. I have this shoe rack which has fallen numerous times. Brent has fixed it for me over and over again. That is why it's got a little repair on it right there with some zip ties. This is where I keep any of my shoes and boots, which I am very, very light on right now. Up top is just shipping stuff and cleaning stuff, but on the rack, I am using that, and I'm using that to hold all of my bulkier coats, jackets, and the like. Sometimes I'll have belts on here too when I have more stock of belts. And down below is anything bulky that doesn't fit in the bins, and some stuff that I have pre-packaged, some fabrics, whatever that's going out and is already pre-packaged. These lights are already pre-packaged. Just some odds and ends that don't fit in other places. I don't have a lot of hats, I don't have a lot of bags, but when I do have them, I will hang the bags on hangers and use this empty space. And then you can see here, I do have a little bit of jewelry still left. I'm trying to move through that. I just keep all of my jewelry separated into plastic Ziploc bags, and it tells on the bag what they are. So we have some bracelets, we have some rings and earrings, we have some necklaces, I have some random napkin rings in here, as well as a couple of belts in here. Sometimes those are hanging up nice and neat. Sometimes they're just kind of thrown in this little bin. Guess what, friends? It may not be Pinterest pretty, but it does work. And it gets me started on reselling. So this is to let you know you don't need a warehouse space by any means. You don't even need a garage. You don't need a basement. In fact, you don't even need a spare room. When I started out reselling, I housed more than 700 items just in my small office and teeny tiny closet. All you need is a system that is smart, keeps you organized, and works for you. If you guys found this video useful, helpful, or informative, please feel free to give me a thumbs up on the way out and smash that subscribe button. As always, I really do appreciate all of you guys tuning in. And if you're looking for more reseller content, oh my gosh, have I got a plenty on this channel. Feel free to check out some of the other videos that are linked. And until next time, I just want to remind you here at Sequels, I love to share that the remake can outshine the original. Have a great week, friends. Bye. So on the plus side of the office refresh, the wallpaper is up and it's staying, but it's still not all the way sticking in plenty of spaces. So the problem solving continues. Oh my gosh, isn't it gonna be so pretty if I can get it to work? It's gonna change the whole vibe.